Welcome to the web series, The Hero's Call, where champions of safety and justice in the community are profiled. The series is co-hosted by attorney Mark Diller and his colleague, Dr. John Naranja. Dr. John is both an attorney and a doctor.
Just because people see limitations as a disability doesn't mean that those people lack the capability. The human spirit is powerful, and when combined with the support of others, people can overcome many obstacles. Today on the Hero's Call, we welcome Chris Nikic, his dad Nick, and his coach Dan Grebe. Chris is the first person with Down syndrome to finish an Ironman competition. Welcome to the Hero's Call. Chris, could you please introduce yourself for our audience and tell us a little bit about who you are, where you're from?
Sure. My name is Chris Nikic. I'm a public speaker. I'm a triathlete myself. I'm a high school graduate, and my love for the sport came down during Ironman. And I still know that when I crossed the finish line, my brother said, "You're an Ironman." And he said, "You are going home in peace, and I'm going to return you to your wife for an Ironman."
You don't have a wife. Stop that.
You know it's going to happen.
Oh, I know it's going to happen.
Yeah, in
Not
the
yet.
future.
In the future. All right. You're speaking it into existence. I got it. All right. That's cool.
Chris, it's good to know you know what you want, right?
Yeah.
So you're here with your father. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Nick Nikic.
Hi, Nick. And Coach Dan is with you?
Yep, I'm Dan Grebe. I'm Chris's coach and guide out there on the races.
Before now, has anyone with Down syndrome completed an Ironman competition?
Not only has no one with Down syndrome ever completed it, it's never been attempted in the full distance or the half distance. So Chris has done both at this point.
So Chris, why is it that you decided to take on the challenge of the Ironman competition?
Because it's my dream. Everybody's got dreams. You know, the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to live independently, to own a car, to have his dream house, which I'm in with my dad right now.
Oh, you're going to take my house?
And I'm gonna have a smoking hot blonde, like my mom. That wife is gonna be from Minnesota. I'm working as a real estate with the full-time job offer
Oh, yeah?
with my wife.
Okay. So that's it. He's got a dream. He wanted to be a public speaker, so he needed a really good story to tell. And we thought Ironman was a great story.
That's fantastic.
My first question is for you, Nick. How did it feel, as a dad when he completed? Were you there when he finished the race?
When he finally crossed the finish line, it was like the most peaceful feeling ever because he had just spent a year of hard training, getting 1% better every single day. And the culmination came in where he completed something that everybody thought was impossible. Nobody ever even thought about attempting it, let alone doing it, with Down syndrome. And so I was a complete piece.
Great. Coach Dan, tell us your experience. I mean, you were with him the whole way, right? Tell us your experience and observations of what was happening during the event.
You know, the whole race was not about me. It's still not about me. It's about Chris and his journey towards his dreams. So I did my best to stay out of the emotion of the moment and what it really meant and just let it be about him and let him have his moment. But we did have some obstacles along the way. He got bit by some ants at a hydration station. He got in a bike crash doing over 20 miles an hour. We were feeling like we were a little tight on our bike splits after that. I mean, it was a lot of emotion, but again, a huge honor to do it. You know, as Chris said, trusting me to take his son to the brink of human exertion and beyond is one of the greatest honors of my life. And waking up that morning with a young man that had Down syndrome, and going to bed that night, or taking him back to his father at the finish line, no longer a boy with Down syndrome, but a young man who is now an Ironman and has the capacity to do anything he wants for the rest of his life, not only for him, but for everyone that follows behind him, will probably go down as one of the greatest things I've ever done in sporting by far.
So this question is for all three of you. What is this 1% better challenge, and how did that come about?
It really means that I have to be better than yesterday. Basically talks about by doing one push-up, or if it's one sit-up or one squat. Then by Ironman, I did 200. By Kona, I did 500.
So the concept basically starts small, right? Do what you can do and progress gradually. The idea is to build a mindset, one where you wake up every day knowing that you have the chance to be a little better today than you were yesterday. And so you build a mindset, you build a culture, you build a habit. And so you don't negotiate with success, you just execute because it's a habit. And so we helped him build this 1% mindset from day one. To the point where he got to where he was training 8 hours on a Saturday riding a bike. It was just part of the routine. It was only a little more than the Saturday before, and only a little more than the Saturday before that.
Now, Chris, we've seen that you've got a quote out there that says, I could use my obstacles as an excuse to limit me. I don't do excuses. My coaches won't take them. Instead, I work hard. Can you tell us a little bit about that quote, Chris?
Yeah, so when my coaches said I could do anything, and I just said, look, man, there are more excuses. And then you gotta put me through something. And then that's how I do success.
You choose success. Yep.
Yeah.
That's right. That's a choice. Excuses or success.
Great.
What are we looking at here?
This guy, it is equipment. Carlos.
And Carlos is a federal judge here in Orlando.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow.
So he is one of his guides.
Now, I've heard that the swim portion of the Ironman is the hardest part. Chris, which part do you think is the hardest of the three events?
I would say the bike, because it hurts my lower back and my butt, and the end bites, the crowds on the knee.
Yeah, but crashes don't hurt if you don't have them. What?
I'm still there.
I'm still here.
Stop it.
Hey, tell me this, Chris. Chris, how did that crash happen?
I don't know. I just could not come to break. I was scared. I fell.
Nick wasn't there to help you, right?
No,
Yeah, he distracted you
distracted.
with that silly moped he
You
was
didn't get
on.
distracted by smoking out blonde, did you?
Yeah, yeah.
You did?
Yeah. Yeah, well, she came to me and she said, Chris, I'm gonna make you my husband.
Oh, good. Harry.
Because of this night. I'm like, okay, now for you.
All right. Let him keep asking.
I have no idea. I'm very close with city. Yeah.
You know, when Chris and I have swam in situations like this, it's not uncommon for me to stop him for just a minute for him to see the beauty of what we're doing and to remind him that that God created this for us. Because sometimes in a race like this, that you're so amped up and you're so excited about the moment that you miss the beauty of a photo like this, the moment of like that. And that's a very beautiful picture of a very special moment. That's a young man following his dreams into the unknown. Do you know what this photo is?
No.
Tell him, this is me launching him off. This is what we have to do every 40 minutes. So I have to stop him every 40 minutes, and then I have to help him get on his bike and launch And this is me launching him at the dismount line. So this is the first time we took off on the bike. This is literally his second pedal stroke right here.
And what are we looking at here?
So what's the picture on the top, Chris?
I forgot.
Yeah. So this is the finish line, and then underneath, there's a photo there. What are you getting put around your neck right there?
Medal.
Your medal? What kind of medal?
Ironman.
And your finisher medal?
Yeah.
Now, can you just buy one of those if you want to buy one?
Yeah.
No, you have to earn that. You have to earn that by completing an Ironman. They're not for sale. You earned that. Did you earn it that day?
Yeah.
Yes, you did. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, Coach Dan, can you give us some perspective on that 16-hour time finish that Chris did? What?
It depends on your goals, right? So if your goal is to be an Ironman, you have 17 hours to do that. So in Chris's case, he completed in 16 hours and 46 minutes and 9 seconds. If he would have completed it 17 hours and 1 second, he would not be an Ironman. So if it's about completion, the way to become an Ironman is to do all the evolutions, no matter what your story is, no matter what your disability is, no matter if you have a bike crash, no matter if you step in ant piles, nutrition, bathroom, it doesn't matter. High winds, big waves, you have 17 hours. If you do it in 17 hours, they give you a medal and you are crowned an Ironman for a lifetime. In his case, he's crowned the first Ironman with Down syndrome. If he completes it in 17 hours and 1 minute, he is just a young man with Down syndrome that gave it a great effort and didn't complete it. Now, there were about 200 or 250 people that did not complete it at all. They disqualified. They either didn't make the time or they dropped out because the swim was too hard, the bike was too hard, the run was too hard.
Were there, for either of you, were there any times during the race when you felt like, are we going to make that 17-hour time limit?
Did you ever feel like we weren't going to do it? You see this face he just gave right there where he just pierced his lips and said,
Yeah.
do you know that at 16 hours, he was feeling some real pain. And I repeated to him something his dad said to him earlier. I said, Chris, are you going to let your goals win or are you going to let your pain win? He said, I'm going to let my goals win. And I said, are you going to quit? And he was tired. He was hungry. He was hurt. He'd been bit by literally probably 100 times by ants. And he pierced his lips just like that. And he said, I'm not going to quit. And he didn't say a word to me. He didn't have to. And we just kept going, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't.
So you let your goals win there, Chris, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things that I saw about the 1% Better Challenge was that you want people to know more about Down syndrome. What would you like people to know about Down syndrome, Chris?
I just want them to know that we're going to put a lid off and stop listening to the experts and the doctors. They've been putting limitations on them. So we're going to put the lid off and that is so small that to do 1% every day. They need to live enough of inclusion, get a house, own car, and maybe it's working out wrong. Look about us.
This is beautiful. So what he said was he believes that he wants people to know that Down syndrome is not something that can hold you back from your dreams. That's a little bit harder to accomplish your dreams, but you can accomplish your dreams and to dream really big, to stop listening to the experts, right? To make a commitment to getting 1% better in every area of your life, right? In every area of your life, to work really, really hard and don't make any excuses.
Chris, I understand that you already are a motivational speaker. Can you share a little bit about that with us?
Yes, sir. I did a 6-minute speech in front of salespeople and they loved it. And 2 more came and they still love it. I'm getting all these engagements from my dad's big TV here. And that's how I want to be successful.
So that's the job you want to have.
Yeah.
You want to be a professional speaker?
Yeah.
And you've already done it three big speeches already, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
What does the future have in store for Chris Nikic?
To get some house, to get his wife, to adore him, love him, and get a car, and do whatever it takes to put a store for my wife.
Good answer. Good answer.
Nothing's going to stop you, huh, Chris?
No,
It's great.
Well, you know, it's about, you know, friendship too, right? So two families have come together. We're going to keep spreading the message of inclusion. We're going to keep sharing, you know, my perspective of how a young man with Down syndrome has opened up my world to things I've never thought were possible, all because I was willing to open up my world for him and say, hey, come into my world, come be part of what I'm doing. And in turn, he turned around and said, you know what? My world's bigger. Come hang out with me too.
What's the message that you have for all of those other children who have Down syndrome out there? What do you want to tell them, Chris?
I just want to tell them start small, get a person every day, to live independently, to work hard, to own their house, to own their car, and make this fucking hot blood like me. So
Right.
they can rise up and look. Chris is just freaking awesome kid. And they could say, just get 1% every day.
Good job. That was a great answer.
I want to know, what's the message that you have for other young children who have Down syndrome after knowing what Chris has accomplished and seeing what he's been able to do? What's your message for them?
So my message is actually primarily to the parents, because they have all of the influence on what their kids can and can't do. They're the ones who are the recipients of all the negative information and news and all the things that have convinced them that their kids can't do anything. And so the first message really is to the parents to say, look, you need to start looking at your kids differently. You need to realize that there's so much potential inside of them, but they learn differently. They learn slower, and so you have to adapt a different learning style for them. You can't apply the same learning style to them as everybody else, because they're going to continue to fail because they'll never meet those expectations. Their learning style is such that they require more focus and more repetition for a longer period of time. And then there's a breakthrough period that happens for them, where just like in Chris's case, when the momentum kicked in and there was that breakthrough moment, he went from just being a kid with Down syndrome to being an elite athlete. And we never saw that coming. Because it took a year and a half for us to see that breakthrough. And most people see that kind of growth with a typical person in the first month or two or three. And so because his delay was over a year and a half longer than the typical person, most people think that's permanent. They don't think that they're ever capable, but in fact, they are. They just have a longer delay. And then they end up having almost the same kind of growth curve as a typical child, if you account for that long delay. So that's up to the parents.
I want to say thank you on behalf of myself and John for being a part of the Heroes Call, because you really are, all of you, a real inspiration to so many people. And I hope that people will listen to your story, Chris, and hear about all the amazing things that you've accomplished, and say that there are no limitations, there are no excuses that we can't overcome with some hard work and getting 1% better per day. So thank you for inspiring us and so many other people. And I can't wait to see what's next for you. I'm sure it's going to be fantastic.
Thanks.
Thank you for your time.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate it.
And will you do us a favor? When you come run the Boston Marathon, can you keep in touch with us so we can come out and cheer you on and come visit you?
Sure.
All right. Well, we look
Okay.
forward to it. Thank you.